July 9th, 2019, approximately 5:43 a.m. Chicago time, United States of America. I want to cover this real quick, a series of interesting events for those who like to look for signs. Thursday, Friday, last week, July 5 and 6, I believe, or 6 and 7. 5 and 6 probably. Significant earthquakes, California 7.1. First a smaller one, the next day a larger one. Where? China Lake Naval Weapons Center. Rumors are that it's a deep underground military base. What can cause a quake? The ground to shake like that? Well, this is speculation, but when nukes are detonated underground, which there seems to have been a long history of this rumored to be happening, it does cause tremors. And this could have been a move by one or more factions against other factions in the rumored covert civil war. Phil Schneider was one of the early whistleblowers coming out on VHS tape after YouTube exploded. People were publishing his speeches. He traveled around the country at his own expense, and apparently it cost him his life to tell people that he had been building underground bases. There were battles underground, nukes, nuclear explosions, etc. His death was ruled a suicide. He strangled himself with his own catheter cord. He had a catheter because he reported that he had been shot at by people several times. Then moving on to Saturday, a significant arrest being reported with significant deep ties into politics and those who control power in the world and pedophilia. Think about this in context of a 7.1 magnitude quake at a deep underground military base, and in the context of a covert civil war that could be raging. Then Monday came along, and very few of us actually heard about or saw covered in the media that Washington, D.C. had some pretty serious flooding. Right there to the left is a column of water flooding into the subway from the street above. Here's a picture from CBS. This looks more like something we're used to seeing happening in places like Brazil. And, it's strange to see this happening in Washington, D.C. Sinkholes caving in roads, elevators taking on water, parking ramps, basements full of water, and national buildings were not immune. Apparently the Capitol, the White House, and the National Archives building where they keep the Constitution and the Bill of Rights took on water. For those of us who have been watching and watching the climate changes and all of the flooding, we've been wondering what if they've built these Capitol buildings, maybe throughout the ages from one cataclysm to another to be in key places where they won't be flooded. But I guess they are vulnerable. So those are some 3 key events that happened recently. Something to think about, the interrelatedness of things. Are these signs? Are these kinds of things that we need to be kind of considering and piecing together? So that's all I have for today for this. Hopefully I'll be back on soon with some more weather. Have a good day.
Also at Spirit gas station, which is right next to the market, people here trying to get gas, trying to get supplies. We're told only about 2 pumps are working right now. And I do want to bring in Tony and Patty. They were actually on the road when this happened. Now, you guys were on the 178. We know now that parts of the 178 are closed, boulders, cracks. What did you see?
The road buckled, big boulders blocking the highway. It was like it moved over.